A lot of times people ask Moses, why exactly do you feed these birds? Yet in our national park areas or our private game reserves, for those of you who have been there, you remember they put posters to warn each one of us not to feed wild animals. But here, I'm already doing the opposite, maybe contradicting myself. But the feeding we do here, ladies and gentlemen, is not as per the word feed. As we always bring them that small box of meat over there, every 1 o'clock, every day, and this is a way of drawing these vultures away from places where they get persecuted. How then do they get persecuted? That's what we are going to discuss down there. But for those of you who prefer to be up here, please don't get disappointed. As I do have these charts here, if you read these charts, you also understand the reasons why we feed the vultures. But before we go down there, I always read 1 or 2 from this chart here as an introduction. And I always take number 3, which says 8 of Africa's 11 vulture species have declined at an average of 62% across all regions over the past 30 years. So conservation efforts are crucial. So ladies and gentlemen, this is part of conservation. If you look on this chart here, you also find that we are working with BirdLife of Zimbabwe, and this is Zimbabwe National Parks and Wildlife Management Authority. And here we do have Victoria Falls Wildlife Trust. And where we are today here is Victoria Falls Safari Lodge. So these 4 joined together so that we try to save the vultures, as they are also very, very important, especially if you talk of ecosystem. Vultures do clean the wild before diseases are spread to us human beings, even to the wildlife as well as to our livestock. So I always say we need these vultures more than they need us. If you look again here, globally, vultures are the most endangered group of all bird species. And with that, 3 of our vultures are now critically endangered. And here we are talking of number 5, the white-bellied vulture, number 2, the hooded vulture, as well as number 4, the cape vulture. So imagine, ladies and gentlemen, if you wait for another 30 to 50 years, surely that would mean to say there won't be any vultures left on the face of this earth. So this program is for us all, so that we share ideas how best we can save the vultures. Some of you here, you remember stories about the dodo birds. Those birds were all wiped out, isn't it? The same can happen to the vultures. That is if we don't change some of our behaviors as human beings. So if you still want to be closer to the vultures and hear a little bit more about these vultures, please, you are welcome to join us. But as we go down to our vulture restaurant, some of you might be new in Africa, and maybe you are not quite familiar with this type of terrain, but here we do have a motto which always guides us here, where we say there is no hurry in Africa. Pole pole. That means slowly, slowly. Our path gets steeper and steeper as we approach our vulture restaurant. So please, one step at a time to avoid injuries. All right. Thank you very much. You may now follow us. Hanging outside with pink faces, those are the hooded vultures. And the rest at the center there, the bigger ones, some of them are acting more like rugby players, isn't it? Those are the white-backed vultures. And the taller birds in black and white, those are not vultures. Those are the marabou storks. Also other fascinating birds, those ones. But I'll talk much about marabou storks later. Let me quickly get back to the reasons why we are feeding these vultures. Is it because vultures are starving in the wild out there? No, vultures have a lot of food in the wild, but studies have been done to ascertain the reason why the vulture population has been dropping year in, year out. And after those studies, a lot of results were pointing at us human beings. How then do we get involved? Ladies and gentlemen, it was discovered that vultures are facing a variety of human-created challenges. If you look at a vulture, just check its wing part. Some 2.2 meters, some even 2.5 meters. So whenever a vulture locates an electric line, it can't easily change direction. Vultures cannot change direction at a short notice. So they sometimes collide on those electric lines, they get electrocuted. Sometimes they can be lucky not to be electrocuted, but once they crash land, they sometimes break their legs or wings. Once one of those gadgets is lost, they won't be able to take off, then they become vulnerable, falling prey to other predators like cats, hyenas, or even jackals. That also affects their population. We also do have another problem with some of our farmers. Some of our farmers practice subsistence farming, and in some of our regions there is no much of crop production. So most of their wealth lies in the number of livestock they own. So if a farmer wakes up in the morning checking on his livestock only to find out that 1 or 2 beasts have been killed by predators, that would be a great loss to that farmer. So what they think of is to eliminate or to do away with those predators once and for all, so that there won't be any such losses in future. That's when they come up with ideas such as putting